Notice is hereby given that pursuant to Section 7-706 of the Village Law of the State of New York and pursuant to resolution of the Village Board of the Village of Baldwinsville adopted October 16th, 2025, a public hearing will be held by the Village Board of the Village of Baldwinsville at their regularly scheduled meeting on the 6th day of November, 2025 at 6 p.m. to consider a proposed local law to add a provision to the village code to provide the treatment of signs posted in a public right-of-way on lampposts, signal posts, utility poles, or in the ground. A copy of the proposed local law may be examined by any interested party by contacting the office of the village clerk. By order of the Village Board of the Village of Baldwinsville, dated October 16th, 2025, Baldwinsville, New York.
Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of the proposal? You step to the mic and give us your name, please.
Kevin Baker, zoning board member. The zoning board agrees that these signs are a problem and something needs to be done about them. You know, they are illegal. They detract from the beauty of the village. It's unfair to the local businesses that have to follow the rules. And I feel they're becoming a safety concern. In particular, East Genesee Street, in my opinion, has too many signs. There's a lot of visual clutter, and I think it's becoming difficult to see the traffic control signs and the pedestrian signs that are there. These nuisance signs are designed to get your attention, the colors and the way they're designed, and I think it detracts from the driver's view of seeing what they are supposed to see. You know, these signs are very inexpensive. I did a quick Google search and I was finding you could buy them for 84 cents a piece. You know, if a business puts these signs up and they stay there for a few days or over a weekend, you know, it's a success. They have won. It's very inexpensive advertising. I saw 3 of these signs on East Genesee Street earlier this week. 2 of them, a fence company from Central Square. There was another one that's a Plainville business, but they are located outside of the village. You know, and it's I go back to being fair to the businesses that have to follow the rules. These guys don't, and I think that they need to be held accountable. The way the code was written, I think there is a process that will do that. There's a notification / education takedown notice. Hopefully that's all we would have to do because the person will get it, take it down, won't do it again, over, done with. If they don't do that, then there's a process for fines and even assessing takedown costs if the village has to take them down. If the village just keeps taking the signs down, I just feel that that's a never-ending battle. There will always be more. I think the process will help to stop these signs from going up. And the code, it specifically addresses these nuisance signs, and I think it eliminates any of the gray area that if we want to apply other parts of the code to these signs, for instance, littering. So as a zoning board member, as a business owner, and as a citizen of the village, I encourage you to vote for this law. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak in favor of the law? Is there anyone wishing to speak against the proposal? No representatives from Skinner Fence?
I was going to say.
Okay, could I have a motion to adjourn and close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Moving on to the regular meeting of the village board, could I have a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes from October 16, 2025?
Motion. Second.
Any corrections or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. We will now turn the meeting over to the chief.
Thank you. If we could have Officers Tyler White, Jacob Mueller, and Riley Squire join me in the mayor up front.
This is where I'd like to be in the background.
So these 3 gentlemen are coming to our organization through some different means. Two of them that you can tell have standard police academy issued haircuts. They are presently enrolled in the police academy and doing well there. And Officer White is joining us from the sheriff's office. I really have to commend the three of them, A, for their commitment to our community and keeping it safe. This is not a time where a lot of people are joining the law enforcement profession, and it says a lot about their commitment, their character, and their level of professionalism to want to stand up and say that I want to keep the Baldwinsville residents safe and secure as they live here, visit here, conduct business here, and go to school here. And I think all of us owe a little bit of a debt to them, and I certainly appreciate, as my career comes to an end here in Baldwinsville, that they've chosen to start theirs and have a career hopefully as rewarding as mine has been. At this time, I would ask all of you to face the audience, raise your right hand. Gentlemen, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the position of police officer
of the position of police officer
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Welcome. Mayor, do you have any words for the community and our friends here?
Utter amazement that we were able to find three candidates
Yes.
to begin with. I've watched the police go through a process over the last few years of diminishing levels of our force and difficulties in finding replacements. And to be able to have three quality individuals tonight is amazing. To add to the two young folks that have joined us in the past year.
Absolutely.
Congratulations and welcome to Baldwinsville.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Hold your badges up and we'll take a nice picture here.
Good.
Anyone else want to come up and take some pictures? Mayor, we do have some cake for our people, so if we could take a recess potentially.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Wait a second. One more with that.
Hold your badges.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
There you go.
Gentlemen, before you go, get cake all over your suits. If you'd like to meet the board.
I'm Riley. Nice to meet you.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And I'm Megan, nice to meet you. Congratulations. Megan, congratulations.
All of our staff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skip the cake.
Okay, that was exciting. I hope everybody's enjoying their cake. Next on the agenda is a special presentation from John Hart regarding the new website design.
It's going to be brief.
For those of you behind John, John is our consultant for
Yeah.
everything technical in Baldwinsville.
Yeah, kind of the village IT, I suppose.
There you go.
There you go, that's
Those of us
it.
in front of John too, because I've heard your name, but I have.
Yeah, I have not met everybody,
Nice to
so,
put a face to a name.
We've tried to keep him hidden for,
yeah, that's good. So we have two little topic here. Number one, I'm gonna be brief. It's regarding the email change that are coming on. We're moving from all email address to be be baldwinsville.org to baldwinsville.gov. That change was supposed to fully occur this weekend. I've been working for a few weeks on this, transferring all the data of all the email account to migrate from the .gov, the .org to the .gov. It's all happening in the background. You guys don't see any of this going on, but it's happening. Except today, there was some kind of a little twisty news. The final move, because we're going on to what's called Microsoft Exchange, which will allow everybody to have their email on any device with calendar syncing and all that stuff, always equal on every device. So because we're making that move, Microsoft has a tier level of checking that we have, in fact, the rights to a .gov name, and which we do. But the mechanism of checking this piggies back to the .gov people, and guess what? The government is shut down. So we're going to be experiencing delays. There are still people that are working on this at the .gov level, but the problem is there's just a few people. So right now, I was told that we will have a delay probably of about 10 days on this. So there is nothing I can do. It's out of my control. So that's that. So unfortunately, it's going to take a little longer. Second topic, yes, go ahead.
Jody said that when that 24-hour period or something's going on, no one's supposed to be on their emails or something like that?
Well, it's better, because what's going to happen is when the real final transition, I'm transitioning, you have to imagine this, I transitioned these things for the past couple of weeks on a manual, one-by-one thing. There's some people who have email that date back to 2010, 2011, even further than that. So you don't want to lose anything, you don't want to lose any data. So that's a little kind of touchy thing to do. It's not per se complex, but you have to pay attention, and it takes a while. Now, to answer your question, when the real switch is finally turned on, it would be preferable that you be not on your email for a 24 hours period. If you do, you may or may not get or receive or send email. It may or may not work, depending at which point you're trying that. And the other thing is you might lose those emails. So it's for all intent and purpose, it's better off to just.
And you'll let us know when.
Oh yeah. When the time comes, I will alert everybody, and we'll get that through dissipate the news, and everybody should know that. After that, there's another thing related to the email. I have to go. Anybody who check their email using Outlook or a program on their computer, it could be Thunderbird, but most likely it's Outlook. I have to manually make that switch in their computer for each of these people. So if you just do the webmail, if you only go to the website and you get your email from the website, you don't need me once the transition is done. But if we do, for all the people that do the Outlook, most people at the police department and stuff like that, they do that. I have to do them one by one to switch them. So that's going to be extra time, taking for that. But that's the only way. You can't go from an address to another address just magically like
You
that.
have to do it on each individual device?
Yeah. You have to adjust.
I'm with 3 different devices I use for.
You are correct.
Okay.
Yes. So that's that. So anyway, we'll get it done. So that's not a big deal. The current website that we have, right now, if you were to type in baldwinsville.gov, you would be redirected automatically to baldwinsville.org. Because in the background, we have 3 proposals that are waiting to be decided finally by you guys. And I will give the amount and the proposal physically to Jody, probably tomorrow there, and she can, send that to whoever needs to have those. But just as an idea, they range from about $2,000, well, let's say $3,000 per year forever to one is 10,000 for one time plus some fees during the year, and another one is $15,000 plus some fees for every year. Now, the main difference between those three proposals, as you can imagine, the highest one, the $15,000 one, is highly customized, and it's customized by an individual that is from the village over here, actually. He used to live around here, Chiz. So I think he's in Camillus now. But anyway, he did a few websites. He's doing excellent work, but he's got a price and it's customized and it is what it is. The other ones are cheaper, definitely cheaper, but it's also reflecting in what the product look like. So I think what is to be measured right now is, do we want to pay more for a more customized end of things for the village? Or do we want to have something more that is going to be, for all intent and purpose, it's not going to be very exciting. It's going to be very functional, but not exciting, So that's going to be the decision to be made. That's it. So.
And will all of them feature writable PDFs?
What's that?
Will all of them feature writable PDFs for people to apply for building
Yes.
permits?
Yeah, that is something that I've been working on right now. I've been already transforming those forms. And not only that, is what I wanted to make sure that we had, is I wanted to make sure that we had full AI within the site. So if you go on the site, the new site, that is when it's going to be live, you're going to be able to type in, okay, so I'm building a fence in my yard. What form do I need? What do I need to do to be compliant with the Village of Baldwinsville? And based on what you guys tell me that it should be, then AI will answer that question and will provide the form. People will be able to fill them online or download them, fill them manually, bring them over here, email them, or whichever they want to do. So long as that's what the wish of the village is, But I think it's important to integrate AI because as the village moves forward in time, there are less and less older folks like us. So the younger population, they use the phone, they don't use a computer, and they question everything, because it makes it easy for them. So that's kind of the way it should be, I suppose. So that's it.
Don't be afraid
Questions?
of it. Don't be afraid of it, okay? I said, don't be afraid of it. It's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Every time I Google something, I get the AI message, and then I want to go down below and see if it's right.
Well, one thing is the .gov afford a lot of security that other type of sites like the .com or the .org or the .whatever else does not necessarily afford, because obviously the government has more stringent restrictions and things like that. So whoever is hosting the site has to be compliant with more things than a normal site would be. So, yeah, for insurance purpose, obviously, it'll be good. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Okay. Moving on to citizens' comments regarding agenda items. Does anyone have wish to address the board? If not, move to trustees' comments. I'm gonna go to Mike because you've never been on the end for a long time.
I got plenty of room, at least this week. I'll do a brief executive session for contractual matter. And then I'll stick to the agenda.
Hold you to the brief.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
Not this
I
time.
would have sworn he said brief.
I might have said a little. But
You're up, Mike.
I will stick to the agenda, thank you.
I just wanted to mention that our annual parade of lights and tree lighting is going to be on Saturday, November 29th, and the parade starts at 5 o'clock. So, hope to see everybody there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And we're gonna have a new permanent tree in the square as well, so we're very excited about that. That's it.
Okay. Nate?
I'll stick with the agenda.
I would like to congratulate our newly elected village trustee, Paul Dreer-Weiberg, as well as our newly elected village justice, Robert Rubenstein. And I also want to thank trustee Cole, I'm sorry he's not here tonight, for stepping up and filling a need when, somebody had to do it, and he did it, and he served our community well, and I hope he stays involved, and say the same for Judge Smallwood. I wish them both the very best. And that's it.
Okay. In a change of process, instead of me saying I had some things to say and I can't remember what they were, I spent time and wrote them all down, so I've got this. I wanted to, as Donna said, echo Donna and thank Trustee Joe Cole and Judge David Smallwood for their dedication and service to our community over the last several months. Plan on welcoming Paul later on, but welcome, Paul.
Yeah.
In fact, I know that our treasurer has been in touch with you or is, okay. Item number 2 a lot of this that I'm talking about is semi-work session stuff, is regarding delinquent out-of-village water users. We have about 10 or 11 users that have compiled a debt of $11,000 owed to the village that village taxpayers have offset. Couple of the properties, our properties have been foreclosed on, you're dealing with banks and that kind of things. Others are occupied properties where people are just opting not to pay their water bills or to pay 1/4 every other year. The process, they've all been sent letters of our process of a red tag saying you're gonna get a shut off, but we've never gone there. I'm talking to my board and wanting their support that we will indeed issue the red tags and turn off water. What is it, a week afterwards? About a week later, they'll have opportunity to come in and pay or make arrangements with the village, or their water will be turned off. Just so that my board's aware.
what's the time frame you're looking at starting at?
I would probably talk with Taryn about having the red tags issued by next Monday. And then, these, it is not a surprise to these people. They're all have been notified over and over and over. Some of the bills are $1,200. I paid my water bill today, it was $52. It takes a while to get up to $1,200. I've also provided to the board, and if you didn't get it, let me know, proposed changes to the Canton Woods agreement. I'm looking for your feedback. Before I send this on to the 2 town supervisors, the basic change is I'm looking that the village would take on full responsibility for the maintenance of the building and the grounds. The towns would assume complete responsibility for the cost of all programming. As much as all we do there is senior citizen programming That's utilities, staff, it's basically everything. It won't save a lot of money for anyone. It'll cost, we already do this. But it'll take out the quibbling that's been going on about who's responsible for what. And people not paying for doors after they agree they're paying for doors and that kind of stuff.
Or roofs.
Yeah, or a roof. And there's, if you looked at the agreement, you'd see I made other modifications, struck some clauses. I'm sure the chief's gonna mention this, but it never hurts to mention it twice. November 15th begins the no overnight parking season. So with or without snow, keep it in mind, November 15th is the time. Town of Lysander has asked the village to consider changing our board meetings. They meet right now also, and they've asked if we would consider moving them to either Tuesday, or I sat with Jody and talked about maybe moving to, instead of first and third Thursday, to second and third Thursday for the village. This would allow people that live in Lysander and in the village of Baldwinsville to attend both meetings, not have to pick and choose or to watch them on PAC-B. That's the purpose. So
ours have always been.
they can't move because they've got all these other conflicts that they're locked in. We have court one night, they have court 2 nights, they used to meet on Mondays and they don't want to meet on Mondays anymore, and former Mayor Saraceni moved it to coincide with our meetings on Thursdays. So whatever. Something else to think about, if there's people in the community that are cherishing being on the first and third Thursdays. I don't know what other conflicts there might be out there, let us know.
I personally would have a conflict with the second Thursday of the month. I have another organization that I'm involved with, and that's when we meet.
Okay. Noted.
Ask them to change theirs.
Go back to Mondays.
I'm okay with moving it to Tuesday, but that's just me.
We definitely suffer by having it in at the same time.
Right.
Because while I do go back and watch as many as I can, we have a person on this board whose responsibility is to be a liaison between their board and ours. It was me, and I'm here, I'm not there. So I can't bring anything back to you guys that's going on that we should be proactive or reactive to, because I don't know until.
There's also those rare meetings where we need to meet together, both boards, and we'd have to run, one of us would have to run back and forth.
Or Cindy comes to both meetings, you see her out of breath when she comes in the door, she's running from one to the other. I would entertain a Tuesday, that to me.
Okay. So community, think about Tuesdays. Doesn't matter, well,
I'm okay.
Still at 6 though.
Still at 6, yeah.
yes, and this would not take effect until January.
All right.
Right.
I'll
So-
think about it.
Okay, you think.
Some of
Thank
those
you.
Lysander meetings were entertaining, and it was fun to be a fly on the wall.
I wanted to mention some major events that are coming up. Ruth already mentioned parade of lights and tree lighting. 2 days before that's the turkey trot. Both of these impact traveling around the village. So please plan ahead. You know, primarily it's on the north side of the village, really can get kind of congested. I want to share that I have reached out numerous times and still have received no word from WEP regarding the home rule law. However, Karen and I have looked at it. The law gives us 5 years to reinvest our funds from the sewer. So that helps. Did I not get you a copy? You wanted a copy, we didn't get you one?
Yeah, I would love a copy, and I'd love to know if there's any parameters around what we reinvested in. Like, is it just infrastructure? Can we
Yes.
create reserve funds?
It says infrastructure.
Yeah.
Let me see. I wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about establishing a Parks Commission. I would bring that back to the board before doing so, to get citizens involved. We've had Mr. Santiago twice come in and propose ideas about parks, and Dan, and I don't remember Dan's last name, about kayaking and stuff. No, not that Dan. Millen, okay. And there may be other people that are advocates of parks and be wanting to help us. And Mark has proposed a subcommittee that might be of people like Eric Reinigal and Joe Cole and maybe others in our community that are more focused on the island and how events are handled out there and what the village might do to make that a more acceptable venue. More acceptable, profitable, better. So keeping that in mind, if anybody's interested, let me know. And then last, and this is handwritten because it happened late, earlier this afternoon I sent an email off to the Director of Planning for Onondaga County inquiring about greenways and blueways and also about planning on some open space within the village. Got an email back saying we will be getting $56,000+ in the greenways program. And Jody's already started all the paperwork we need to file to start that process. They informed us it could take quite a while for the money to come, but that's okay, that's government. The second thing was,
Sorry, is that for a specific project that we applied for, or is it to spend how we wish?
It's the Water Street, the extension of the trail.
Oh, okay, okay, that's right, thank you.
and as I expressed to Troy was, we can't do anything till we know if this is here. So now I can reapproach both the cemetery association over there and other parcels in terms of moving forward. Also, I asked him about that planning, because once in passing, he said, oh, you can have $30,000. And he said, give me the price, get me a quote from somebody and we can move forward. So it's another thing to work on. I think that's all that I was gonna mention. So move on to department heads and move over to Bob.
I'll stick with the agenda.
Thank you.
I just wanted to remind residents to pay their water bills by November 25th, because we will be doing the levy after November 25th. And water bills that are not paid by village residents will be put on their March 2026 taxes. So just reminding everybody to get those bills in before the 25th.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mr.
That's all
Treasurer.
right. Couple things, there's a budget calendar that you should all have, department heads all have, it's for the budget process. The department heads should be working on their budgets now, have them to me basically by the 14th of November. I will compile that to the best that we can do with what's been presented and give you a consolidated budget for the village by the 19th of November. There will be 2 work sessions, which are on your calendar, November 23rd, which is a Sunday at 1 o'clock. Sorry if the bills are playing, Nate.
I did it on Thursday previous, so we're good.
And that will be a session where the department heads, it's open to the public, and the department heads will review their budgets with the board around a big table in this room. And then their second work session will be on December 2nd, and that will be here also. That's at 5:30, because that's a weeknight, I think. That will start with an executive session where the board will talk themselves about compensation for village employees. It's not like it's a secret, but it's an awkward process to have in an open meeting. And so it's the sausage gets made in the meeting, and then it'll be in the budget, so it still ends up being public information. Then we have all the way until the 18th of December depending on where the status of the budget is, to get it into shape to be a budget that can be presented to a public hearing, and have a public hearing on it. And pending the outcome of the public hearing, there will be a time period after December 18th until the beginning of 2026 where we will do changes based on input from the public if there has been any. The January 8th meeting in 2026, which is basically a replacement meeting for January 1st meeting, which we won't have, is the meeting at which the budget will be approved. The state requires us to have the budget approved by, I think, the 15th or 16th of January. And so that's really the last meeting before that, and trying to stick to the scheduled meetings. So that's the budget process. Any meetings that the board has as a board are open to the public. So, with the exception of the executive session, obviously. Next, in your abstract that you have, the police vehicles that we've talked about several times since about June are on there to be paid for. And it's a pretty decent sized number. It's 255,000 or something, 256,000. That represents two vehicles that are being paid for by a grant from the DCJS in New York State, $100,000 grant. And it represents three vehicles that are being bonded for, which that's the bond that we got, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. And so we have the money for that. And so that's what's going to happen with that. I think there might be there's a little bit of slack in the bond to the tune of about $9,000 that is for upfitting that might still be required on those three vehicles. And I think the chief told me today that there are some equipment boxes that might need to be installed in the back. They're still looking at that. But that would fit within that $9,000 that was previously approved by all of you. We did get, coincidentally, the New York State retirement bills today. I always like to keep you advised on that because it is something that is a looming thing for the village every year. This year, the retirement between the two funds, the police and fire and the standard employment retirement, is $700,000. That's the premium. That's up from about $630,000 last year. So just to give you an idea of the scale of how that's increasing. And I would encourage every one of you, when you see any representatives from the state, to just say, hey, that went up like 12% again this year. And the year before it went up like 15%. And so I just encourage you to make sure that it keeps that top of mind with them, because it's definitely an issue. Before some of you are done being on this board, we will probably hit $1 million premium. And so you just go, that's an example of a cost that's completely out of our control, that is substantial. And then there's mods on the budget or on the agenda for tonight. Any questions? I'll be here. Thanks.
Okay, let's move on to the senior center.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of our trustees for continuing support for Canton Woods. It's really important to us and our senior population to have this. It's very, very important for them, for their socialization and for, to have the opportunity to be out and with other people of the same age ranges and abilities. So I appreciate it. I know they appreciate it. And I really want to say thank you to all of you for your continued support. Upcoming events that we have going on, this Saturday, we have John Harrington coming in from 3 to 6 to do a music and dance session for the seniors. Anyone is welcome to come and join. We're closed on the 11th. On the 14th, we're doing our yearly 85+ birthday party for all of our seniors that are 85 and above. So hope to see a lot of people out there. Right now, we have quite a few signed up already. The Canton Woods Crafters will be having their craft show the 21st and 22nd from 9 to 2. Everyone is welcome to come, check it out and support our ladies that do all their fun stuff every Tuesday morning. And then we are, of course, closed on the 27th, 28th. And as Ruth knows, December 4th is our annual tree lighting for our little tree out in front of our building at 4 o'clock. So you can come and join us for that as well. And that's it for us.
Quick question, does Red Mill Inn provide transportation? I know they provide transportation. Do they come to your facility?
We do have, I believe, I know of one person in particular, he comes every Friday and plays pool, and he comes at least 2 or 3 times during the week.
And is there transportation at all from any of the other, like Conifer Village and?
Most of the,
St. Mary's?
not from St. Mary's, we do encourage, now we've gone over and spoken at St. Mary's several times about Beeville Express, which is our transportation service, that they can come once a week. They can get a ride from one of our volunteer drivers to come to the center and go back. We do have a few people that do utilize it for that. But Conifer, most of our Conifer people do walk, and that's why during the wintertime, we always worry about that pathway being cleaned between the 2 buildings, because we get a lot of people from there that do come over.
Most of the time when I seem to drive by, it seems like the parking lot is 75% full.
Oh, ours, yes, yes, we do have a lot, and a lot of our seniors do drive, but we do have several that have come from Conifer and do walk over, so.
Thank
It
you.
was 100% full on Halloween when I
Sure
had
was,
to come and
sure
pick up my
was.
mother.
We had, well, that day we had music and then we had a
Fun.
party
We
and
had
it
by
was, yeah, there was 75 plus people there that day, so. We're definitely showing an increase and we have a lot of interactions and the seniors are enjoying it. We're getting a lot of good feedback.
Now, next question, which I shouldn't do in public, but you keep track of how many programs you offer and what the attendance is at every one of those programs?
Yep.
Okay, we like data.
Yep, I try to keep numbers for each and every one of them, and we do keep a daily check-in of the amount of people that are there that come in from the time we open in the morning till the time we leave. And we keep a count, a visual count as well of all the additional people from Meals on Wheels that are in and out of the building, plus our drivers, when the drivers come in, they clock in as well, so we do keep numbers on it.
Jeff only counts once.
Yep, Jeff's only there, he only counts once during the day.
Okay,
Doesn't matter how many times we see him now.
thank you. Moving on to our DPW superintendent.
Leaves have finally come down, so the crews will be out, full force the next few weeks picking up leaves. You'll see them around tomorrow. I would encourage everybody, we finished up a lot of our renovations of the square. I would encourage everybody to swing by, take a look at it. We have a new compass in the Canal Square. Like Ruth said earlier, we'll also have a permanent Christmas tree planted, hopefully tomorrow, weather dependent. And that's all we have at DPW.
Okay, I'm gonna add on to your, if this is a little botany lesson. You said all the leaves are down, not my neighborhood. In fact, a lot of the trees are still green. The fact that we have had but one frost, the abscission layer on a lot of trees, that's the base of the leaf, is not formed to seal them off. That's why they're green. They're still producing chlorophyll. Once that layer is established, then they turn colors because it can no longer go back and forth. And until that abscission layer is there, the leaf probably is not gonna come off. So if the cold snap that is forecast comes without snow, that will be a good thing because then the leaves will start coming off pretty quickly. If it comes with snow with a leaf load that I see in my neighborhood, we could have some challenges. But whatever.
But still come to our neighborhood though. Don't let it not come.
Yeah, people are eagerly awaiting your crew. Moving on to our police chief, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. Several items to discuss. First, we had a robust group of people out on Halloween night for patrols there. We saw, despite the weather, certainly for the first hour from 6 to 7, as I was out patrolling around, I saw a lot of people in the neighborhoods up in Kennewick and Chaucer Circle and Baldwin Hill and
we spoke yesterday about the folks on the south side. I didn't get to the south side myself until after 7. A little less traffic then. It was cold and rainy, but some stout-hearted people in the village with their children out patrolling, and when I was out patrolling to see, which was great. And it limited a little bit the interaction that we could have, but still it was nice to see that many people out there. Lieutenant Lockwood and I have been in contact, planning with the Kiwanis Club on obviously the turkey trot that's gonna be coming up on Thanksgiving morning. Obviously, that's the same route that we've had in the past. Will impact a number of village streets during that event. Some streets will be closed for about an hour or so while that event works its way through the village. But it'll always draw upwards of about maybe 2,000 runners or so to the community as they run to earn their turkey dinner, I suppose, that day. So that's going on. And then again, Lieutenant Lockwood, myself, been meeting with the committee regarding the Parade of Lights. We had a conference call yesterday with the chief. We're looking at potentially having some route modifications. But I think because of some of the changes that we're gonna institute for this particular parade with the no walkers and reducing the size of some of the vehicles, we'll be able to maintain the current route that we have. The route that we have there is a little bit problematic with some of the turns that are associated with that, with the size vehicles that there were, and especially people trying to walk up West Oneida Street as they approach Oswego Street. There were some folks with some of the volunteer companies in the past that maybe weren't in the physical condition they could have been in to accomplish such a walk in cold and inclement weather, which created gaps in that parade, which presents public safety issues for us and the potential of vehicles that aren't supposed to be in the parade getting in the parade. And we're trying to do everything we can to minimize that. So I've had conversations with Chief McIntyre from the fire department. Lieutenant and I had a conference call with him yesterday, and we'll evaluate after this year and make further recommendations to you, Mayor, and this board as to what we think going forward on that aspect. Last week, we had an audit from Division of Criminal Justice Services, DCJS. A couple of years ago, New York State passed the Professional Policing Act, and it required law enforcement organizations around the state to do certain things, specifically in the area of their hiring process. It instituted that we had to do a background investigation, psychological investigation, medical examination. We were doing all those things and a whole lot more, and have been for decades. But they have to come in periodically and examine our hiring packets to ensure that we're actually complying with the law. Lieutenant Lockwood, Sergeant Gwynn put a great deal of effort to ensure that, especially with, as everyone saw tonight, we've had a lot of new hires to ensure that our I's were dotted, our T's were crossed. She met with us last Tuesday, the representative from DCJS. Everything went very well, and I fully anticipate at the December meeting, the Accreditation Council will receive certification that will be good for the next 5 years. So that was a great thing that went very well, and things. As it relates to the agenda items, I'll speak to those now if that's okay, Mayor. We did have an individual that we had hired decide after a very short period of time in the academy that this career path was not for him. We found that out last Monday night. Through the work of Lieutenant Lockwood, who was here that night, I was here, and Sergeant Gwynn, we reached out to an individual, Officer Squire, and reached out to him and said, do you want the position? He was actually supposed to fly out last Thursday for a family funeral in Arizona, but canceled that, showed up here within 20 minutes, and within 48 hours, we had completed a psychological exam, a medical exam, a polygraph examination, fingerprints, and had done a really yeoman's job of as much background as we could, which we're finishing up while he's in the academy, but we don't expect there to be any issues there. Really have to give a lot of credit to Sergeant Gwynn and Lieutenant Lockwood for their work and diligence in ensuring that we could get that position backfilled. We had until Thursday morning through the police academy to get somebody enrolled and get them in there. And that was a tall task, and both of them put in a lot of time, energy, and effort to ensure that our department, even with my pending retirement, could be fully staffed moving forward. So hats off to them. And then lastly, last night, we had a very scary situation occur at a business in the village where the employee was attacked by 3 dogs. Quite frankly, she's lucky to be alive. This call came in, she was able to, I think, use her iPhone or her Apple Watch to call 911. Our officers were just dispatched on a 911 call, they didn't know what it was. They ended up kicking the front door in, got inside, realized what was happening. One of them climbed a fence to get into the area where the dogs and the employee were. They dragged her to safety. They did have to take out their tasers and what we call arc test them, and it shows the arc of the taser, and the dogs were then retreated from that electrical device and get this employee to safety who suffered some very, very severe injuries. Much like John Hart indicated, our staff contacted OSHA today, but there must be furlough because there's no one there. So, but really great work on our staff to get in there and, you know, these were 3 pit bulls that were attacking the individual, and without any hesitation at all, they went right in and ensured that this person would ultimately survive this. So, that's all I have, unless there's questions from the board, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, moving on to pending business. A motion to add provision to the village code to provide treatment of signs posted in public right-of-way on lampposts, signposts, utility posts, or in the ground.
I'll move it.
Second.
I'm gonna add that I do not support it as written, because we simply don't have staff to collect data, send out notices, keep track for 3 days, see if they come and take the signs down, then go back out and get the sign. I'm concerned that I hear what Kevin's saying, but I'm concerned that process is gonna be too much of a burden for our staff. But that's my take on it.
We can call it aspirational.
I'll vote A twice then for you. You can,
And I would not be opposed to a motion that keeps it pending for further discussion. If you wanted to talk to our codes officer or our DPW folks in how this law would be impacting them.
so you're feeling shy of hiring a person to be dedicated to doing that? I'm asking.
Absolutely, I have absolutely no interest in doing that at all.
So you're saying that we need to ask him what it's gonna take to enforce this? More hours a week? I mean, what's the fix?
In my opinion, the fix is you take the signs down. And you send a letter, you call the phone number on the sign, and you tell them they're in violation. If the sign reoccurs, they will be fined. And if they're fined and don't pay a fine, then they come here to visit with the judge. I'm more cold-hearted than Kevin. It's my approach. I'm the mean mayor. But that's the difference between us on that that's the only difference. I fully support the nuisance sign law and the fact we need it. It's just how to implement it.
Well, should we just defer it for now and take it up
Oh,
at the
you're
next meeting?
the board.
Okay, well,
I
could redraft and send something out and you to reconsider for the next meeting.
okay, that'd be good.
If we have a change, does it require another public hearing or?
Only if it's a a major change, but in this case, I don't think it would be a major change because there are provisions about sign removal. And this would be just technical things.
This is like one paragraph, I
Right.
think, in the law.
Kevin, in other municipalities where this practice was taking place, where you know, with the education, how successful was that? Was there any data or anything like that that came across?
I never
with-
checked, this came from town of Newburgh, I
Right.
just kind of followed with.
Yeah, no, I
But I
get
never
it.
followed up with them.
Okay. Maybe we table it just with this one little adjustment, and
Or for you guys to think,
yeah.
if you could think a couple more.
The only way I would be okay with tabling is if it gave it more teeth, and I think what you're suggesting does give it more teeth, and it's more of an immediate impact, so I'd be open to a further discussion.
Yeah.
So procedurally, what do we need to do? Because we have a motion.
Let's,
Did we get a second?
Withdraw the motion.
Motion to
Just
table.
motion to table,
Yeah.
second vote on that.
Right, and then.
I'll make a motion to table the provision of village code to provide the treatment of signs posted in the public right of way to lamp posts, sign poles, utility poles, or in the ground. How's that?
I'll second.
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Kevin, you're invited back in 2 weeks.
I'll deal with Kevin, but I'll also redraft because I've got some ideas as well and I'll also double check on the situation about automatic removal, which I think is may very well be the preferred way to go because in many of them, and I guess I have to talk with Taryn about that too, as to of the signs that are there, and also Tim, as to the signs that are there, how easy it is to find out who they're from and that sort of thing, so.
Almost all have a phone
The
number on
business
them.
name and phone number is usually on the sign,
If
so.
you want to have your
One of the things.
Christmas lights put up.
One of the things that the law does provide is that there's a presumption that if there's a phone number or contact information on the sign, it is presumed that the people who are the contacts know that this is being done illegally. So I'll kind of revise that and I'll get that, I'll talk with Kevin and I can get it around to the board before the next meeting.
Thank you. Item B, discussion regarding Trailways sign project.
Darren and I just had a conversation, we're still in process with procuring that.
Mark came into my office this week and had visited a park somewhere with a sign that he liked, which I forgot the name of the community that I was going to try and follow up. Things where the QR code gave you all kinds of multiple options, including listening, an audio thing, and
Yeah, that's something that, you know, we're gonna continue adding on to this project more and more, you know, just the preliminary is just getting these trails labeled and put, you know, the signs in the front and the other side of the trails. So, but yeah, that's definitely, you know, I'm hoping the QR code does, you know, everything that we want it to do, which is, you know, give the information as much as possible about it. But yeah, this is the first step of a couple of steps that we have.
It was the village of Huntington in Long Island, if you're interested in talking to anybody down there, but the park was beautiful and they had large signs like what you're talking about for the trail system, but then in different spots, they had small, just little placards that were, I mean, reminiscent for me of Beaver Lake way back in the day, and they had a QR code on them and it was an audio thing. Where you could get whatever the particular thing is, maybe the history of Mercer Park or the history of Paper Mill Island or you know, what it was when it was a mill and just stuff like that.
tuning it. I believe Taryn has got it in his budget proposal.
Yep.
Okay, on to new business. Could I have a motion to accept the resignation of Police Officer Brian T. Klauberman effective 10/27/2025.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Anything you want to add, Chief, or you already
No,
described it? Okay.
thank you, Bill.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Item B, motion to appoint Riley C. Squire as a full-time police officer with an effective date of October 29th, 2025, at a salary rate of $65,446 per year.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Riley was the one on the right, far right.
We're right there left.
Yeah, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to turn over the list of 2025 unpaid water and sewer bills for the town of Lysander districts and the amount of $10,059.82 to the town of Lysander for collection.
Moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Item D, a motion to turn over the list of 2025 unpaid water sewer bills for the Maple Road Water District in the amount of $3,373.18 to the town of Van Buren for collection.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Motion to set a public hearing for Thursday, November 20th, 2025 at 6 PM to approve a PDD for the Bronze Foundry Lofts.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, all of you received a copy of the PDD legislation as drafted by our attorney. Bob, I have one question on item 7. It references any signage will be pursuant to the discretion of the planning board. I thought signage was the ARB, but I could,
Well, you can have that after referral to the AR, we can change that.
okay, I just didn't know where it belonged. Okay,
I put that in to be sure that, any signs that go up, need approval, so.
I'll just note that I happened to be in the audience at the last planning board meeting when they were kind of finishing their process on this, and it, although I haven't been following along the entire time, it does, seem that they've done their due diligence on all of this, and, a lot of hard work went into it, so.
and I will share that I sent more botanical comments after it came out suggesting that they, when possible, use native and indigenous species, except for specimen trees, as they're talking about Chinese thises and that's. Because if you notice, the trees that haven't changed colors aren't native to our area. And as climates continue to change, those things are just gonna be weird. So which, and they replied, thank you, and that they would look at that. Whatever, I can't get past the botany stuff. So, we have a motion, a second, discussion, anybody, all in favor?
Aye.
Item F. This is need a motion to change the DPW and exempt employees' contribution rates to equal the police contribution rates as follows. Medical, 10% employee, 90% employer, dental, 10% employee, 90% employer, vision, 20% employee, and 80% employer.
Moved.
Second.
This was kind of
Not
an oversight. This was our intention when we switched over to the different health care provider. The police were on top of it immediately and provided us language for a contract amendment. Somehow DPW didn't get around to it. So they've been paying last year's rates for a year, and we're not going retro. This is from henceforth. We'd like all village employees treated the same, is the bottom line. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried. Motion to set a work session for Sunday, November 23rd, 2025 at 1 PM for the 26-27 village budget.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Item H, motion to set a work session on Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025 at 5:30 for the 2026-2027 village budget.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, this is as needed. It's presumed it will be needed, but
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, for the salary discussion,
And then after that,
yeah.
additional as we.
Hypothetically, though, we changed the schedule to, first and third Tuesdays of the month. We might have to amend this,
we probably will be doing
that
no,
after
that
that.
on December 4th.
So
We'll
we're
be.
not, this isn't gonna be something that's gonna happen quickly. Alright, good.
January, I think we said if we change
They're
the
not-
meetings.
We're not
Tyler
having
Lysander-
January
Tyler
22,
Lysander's
but
not like, we
January
have
is
to do
already
this
set
tonight.
because of the 1st.
Yeah.
So it'd be February.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Alright. Tyler Lysander,
And then we'll all be confused in February and nobody will be here when they're supposed to.
All right, so we all know I won't be able to attend on December 2nd. I will be out of town.
We're gonna dock your salary.
No, I had existing plans.
Just a question, will that be an issue, because there will be two of us out of town, it's just a work session, right, so there's no,
We're not gonna be voting.
Oh,
on
there'll
it.
be a quorum still here.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is you can't participate.
I was gonna say Paul will be official by
Paul,
then,
yep.
so, all right, okay. Just wanted to make sure
Paul has
that
been
we weren't
invited to all of our
getting ourselves into,
budget
the whole
stuff, so
public
he will
is
be, I
invited.
know, but Paul will be
Special.
getting all the documents and stuff so that he's up to speed and ready to run in
Okay.
December.
Absolutely.
Okay, did we approve that?
Oh, I think we
No, we
just
didn't.
discussed it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Do I get to vote even though I'm not gonna be there?
You're here
Yes.
now.
We're gonna hold off the executive session and have public comments.
Motion aye.
Motion aye.
Budget modification.
Oh, I
Budget
thought that was
modifications.
I'm sorry, I see, key budget, I thought that was all work session. Motion aye, approve budget modifications as proposed in the document 2025-11-06, budget modifications for 2025-2026, not PDF budget.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Now we're gonna move to public comments. Anybody who wishes to address the board?
I would like to. Jonah Hawthorne, Chatham Woods, PAC-B TV videographer. I know I don't usually come up here. First thing, I just want to address any viewers. You're gonna notice that the Pledge of Allegiance at the start got cut off. At the start of the meeting, I had a formatting issue with my memory card. And due to this issue, may have lost the footage to Monday's Architectural Review Board meeting. So I'm very sorry about that. Very embarrassing thing to say in public. Other thing, I'd like to address changing the meetings from Thursday. PAC-B TV, we don't have a lot of volunteers for videography. And if you guys moved to either the second Thursday of the month or Tuesdays, there's other meetings that we'd end up losing out on, such as Lysander's Planning Board, Northwest Fire District meetings, Town of Scripple Historical Honor Society, Beecham Historical Honors. I think moving to Monday, if one of the boards moved the meetings to Monday, I could see how with like my schedule and the other videographer's schedule, that would be easier for both of us to tackle. But I thought I'd just throw that out there. I mean, at the end of the day, your guys' time is more important. But I think it's better if there's a way where all meetings can be recorded and broadcast.
How are you recording Lysander in Baldwinsville right now?
Lysander's planning. So we have a second videographer who can do these Thursdays as well. It's Lysander's meeting at this time.
But if we went to Tuesdays, you don't have a second videographer.
They don't have a third, I think it
Yeah,
sounds like.
yeah,
They've got two,
yeah.
but
You
they're
start having
other
multiple
meetings.
things happen at once. So I thought I'd throw that out there just to say something, but.
You could
yeah.
throw out a call for anyone who's interested
Yeah,
in being a
yeah, yeah,
videographer
if you're
for
interested in
PAC-B.
joining us, look up PACBTV.org. Yeah, so, thank you guys.
Is there any compelling reason why we have to make the change and Lysander doesn't?
We don't have to change.
No, I mean,
It's
Yeah,
a
why is it on
service to
us?
the citizens, that's all.
Yeah.
Kevin feels they cannot change.
oh, okay. Well, I'll
And
ask
Kevin
about
approached
that.
me about this and enumerated 16 reasons why they can't go here, there, or the other place. And asked if I would bring it to you guys for consideration if we had any flexibility.
Okay.
They can't meet on Mondays apparently. They used to and decided that was not, probably Monday Night Football, right? I don't know.
Or too many Monday holidays.
Yeah, that's an issue. Okay, well, we've got time to figure it out. And thank you for your input. Anyone else that's to address the board? If not, going once, going twice. Could I have a motion to pay bills as audited?
Executive session.
Executive session.
Yeah, you don't want to pay bills as audited, so you could go home?
You can do that.
Do it after.
We have to do it after? Who's gonna spend money during the executive session? Oh, okay. Could I have a motion to adjourn into an executive session?
Motion.
Second.
Anyone in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Get it done.
I.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you for coming this evening.
Thanks.